So the other day I was in a Twitch stream and I was talking to one of the devs and I asked him a question. I said, would Wizard101 be able to make a classic version of the game? Now, pretty much he told me, yeah, they would be able to most likely if we have an older version of the game, which we probably do, but the main issue would be if people would actually play the game or not. And so this is pretty much what my video is going to be about today, because I think a lot of people would play the game if it was a Wiz Classic, because I mean, I've been playing this game since 2009. I'm in a Wiz Discord with a lot of the YouTubers. I have a lot of friends that have been playing Wizard101 for so long, since I've been playing it for so long too. And the main theme always with Wizard101 is they love the nostalgia of the game, because there were so many people back then that remember seeing Wizard101 on Nickelodeon, like the advertisements and shit like that, and that's what got people hooked into the game in the first place, is that and the old version of the game. So I think, yeah, obviously I think people would be super interested in it, but the main thing is I don't think people would just be interested in it. I think it would bring back a whole bunch of new players to the game, because Wizard101 has had so many freaking problems. I mean, I could go on and on and on, and don't get me wrong, you know, Wizard101 is definitely one of my favorite games of all time, or else I wouldn't have come back to it so many times. But it has so many problems to where I just stopped playing it. The thing is that Wizard101, the way that it's been run is that the old game, and pretty much everyone can agree with me, the old game is far better than the new game. One of the main things that brings back people to the game, besides nostalgia, is the PvP. Obviously the PvE is pretty good too, but the PvP is one of the main things that really sticks around players that have any goals in the game. You know, YouTubers, people like Awesome the Sauce, they're always doing PvP, because that's one of the funnest parts of most games. And one of the best things about old Wizard101 was the PvP. And once it got to a certain point, like once Wizard101 got to like level 100 and up, the game became broken. Now the difference is, at level 100 it was broken, and there was a lot of shit that was unfair, but I feel like it was at a fixable state to where things could have been balanced a little bit more, but they didn't change certain things. Like back then when level 100, and I think even 110 too, was max, there was shit like the lore and gaze spamming, there was the weaver spamming, ice had a ridiculous amount of health compared to every other class, there was still the jade shit, you know, you could spam heals and spam plagues, and like low level PvP was becoming extremely toxic. But at that point it was broken, but in my opinion the game was still pretty fun at that time. But everything else after that, you could see it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And after that, the game, in my opinion, just became way too complicated, and they have so many problems, and it seems like the devs get frustrated with the players, and the players get frustrated with the devs, and they've made a lot of changes that are cool. The game has definitely changed in a lot of ways that are good, but there's a lot of shit I can't mess with it. When World of Warcraft made Classic, I started playing it for the first time. I never played WoW because I was a little kid. That's why I played Wizard101, because I thought WoW was pretty damn cool. But, you know, my parents didn't allow me to play shit like that, and it cost money, and Wizard101 was free, so I played that. Obviously, I was like, I think I was 8 years old when I first played it, or 9, because I made my first account when I was 2009. It was like a text chat account. A good example of it is WoW Classic. And the reason for that is because people do enjoy the nostalgia of an old game, and people enjoy the old versions of old games. But with Wizard101, we can't get that at all. Obviously, there's some things about the game that you could keep that everyone likes, like the kiosk. The kiosk is really good. If you could keep the pets in the game and stuff like that people genuinely do like, and just put it back to an older version of the game where PvP was still allowed to be like, you know, whatever level that you want, people would definitely enjoy that. I don't think people enjoy the certain levels of PvP where you can only do this, this, and this. People really enjoyed, like myself, I love doing level 10 and level 16 PvP. I loved doing Magus PvP. I know you can still do 100, but I love doing that as well. If you just made multiple different versions of the game, that are classic, such as, you know, level 100 being max, one that's level 50 max, or you just have servers where, like in WoW Classic, where it keeps going up so that new players get into the game and start the same level as everyone else, and then eventually they can just transfer over to regular Wizard 101. That would be cool too. I think there's a lot of different ways you could do it. I'm not sure what everyone would want as far as like a max level and different classic versions of the game, but Grandmaster could definitely be one of them. Level 60 could definitely be one of them. Even level 90 or level 100 at max. I don't think it should go much farther than that, but just an old version of the game where people can play it and enjoy the old Wizard 101 and still keep a couple of the things maybe that people enjoyed or not. It really just depends on I guess what people would want in the game. Everyone that I know, all of my friends in Wizard 101, if they made a Wiz Classic, we would all play it. Even people that are my friends that played Wizard 101 when they were little kids, most of them only got to like level 10 or 16 at max maybe because there was a membership paywall and they didn't have money for it. So if people hear about this new Classic, they're going to want to try out the game again. And all of my friends would definitely be down to start playing it, and it would be fun as hell. And it would just be a different type of game, because if we could get a lot more players into it, I think that Wizard 101 would be able to succeed on a level that they haven't in a long ass time, because it's something that we all enjoy. Nostalgia is one of the biggest things. And like I said, it would really be up to discussion whether or not, you know, 50 would be max, what we keep in the game, what we don't, if it'd be possible to still keep in certain spell, you know, adjustments that were too broken, if it'd be possible to keep certain dungeons, like extra dungeons in the game that you can farm or whatever. Like, that's definitely, it's all up to debate. I'm not saying it has to be this way and that way. We all reminisce about the old versions of the game, what Wiz used to be like, things that we used to like back in the day. And obviously, King's Isle hasn't been able to make a lot of people happy with a lot of the updates they've done. Like I said, there's things they've done that I don't like, and there's some things that I like, but overall, in my opinion, the game was definitely a lot better back then, for a lot of reasons. And so I think, why not just put it back to the old version and let people play it? If it doesn't work out, there will be a lot of players like me and a lot of my friends, and I'm sure a lot of the fan base that would still play it and enjoy it. And if not, I don't think it can hurt anybody by doing something like that. And things nowadays are a lot different than they used to be back then. There's streamers now, there's people that try out stuff like this. When they hear about it, they might try it. All it takes is one person that's a big streamer to say, you know what, I'm gonna try this shit out, everyone's starting brand new, I'm gonna go ahead and stream it and see if it's good or not. Rather than just going back to an old game that has all these bad reviews and people say don't play it because it's too complicated. Because for an average person, getting into Wizard 101 and going all the way to max and learning all this shit and learning all these new spells and all these different types of shit you can do in the game, it's complicated for new people. Like, even for when I'm talking to people that used to play even a couple years ago, they are so lost when they come back to the game, and it takes them a while to even adjust to it, because, you know, obviously you can't keep things the same, you know, in your game forever. But for a new player, getting into Wizard 101 is kind of complicated sometimes, because there's so much different shit to learn. Like, at the beginning of the game, it's not that bad, but like, people don't really want to play usually with people that aren't good at the game or don't know how the game works. They don't have all the gear. Like, when you play the game, you're not gonna know all the specific pet stat shit and all the gear places you need to farm and the packs you need to open. Like, you can watch a bunch of YouTube videos and figure it out, but for a lot of people, they just want to play the game and just enjoy it and get into it. Also, one last point is that if you actually do feed in a bunch of new people into the game, I think that that's the best thing possible that could even happen to the game. Because when you feed in a bunch of new players, for a lot of people, it'll get them into PvP, because not everyone's gonna have maxed out shit at the beginning. Like, yeah, there's gonna be some tryhards that go stupid on it and, you know, get everything cracked out from the beginning. But if there's a lot of new players, there's gonna be a lot of people fighting other new players, and they're gonna be going against people that aren't ultra sweats from the beginning, and that's gonna be better for the PvP community, because there's gonna be more people learning, more people open to doing stuff like that, and the PvP community just isn't going to be as sweaty in general if it gets to that point where there's a lot of people that are new to the game and playing. So overall, I think that's the most healthy change that could be for Wizard101 in general. But I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, you know, Wizard101, it really is one of the most nostalgic games for me. And since I was a little kid at the time, I couldn't play many of the other games. I could only really get into Wiz, but it really is one of my favorite games, and I just want to see it succeed, and I want to see it get better, and this is just what I feel like could make it better. I definitely would love to hear what you guys think down below in the comments about something that they could do like this. I definitely know that, you know, I would be psyched for it. I would definitely be down to play something like that, because it would be just a trip back in time, going and doing all those dungeons again, and, you know, seeing just the older version of the game and just playing it with all the older cards before the fixes, and just doing everything like how it used to be, and just seeing a server that's full, you know, seeing the comments full all the time, people chatting, people asking questions, and like, I don't know, it's very nostalgic for me. And if you want to see more Wizard101 content, just let me know, because like I said, I just got back into the game, so I'm thinking about playing it a little bit more. We'll see. But if you guys want to see more content from me, just let me know down below, and I'll do that. So yeah, I love you guys. Catch you in the next one.